Hey there, Invasion Nation. As promised, here's our review of the WWE 13 video game. This is on the PS3 console. First things first, we'll talk about the game itself, then we're going to talk about some of the features, obviously some of the flaws that we come traditionally to expect. First thing I want to touch on is the new Attitude Era. I have never been a big fan of the Road to WrestleMania, and I will say the Attitude Era for me is a lot more enjoyable than the Road to WrestleMania ever was. In this, you get to compete and do different things that took place during the Attitude Era. You get to fill in these roles, and you have to accomplish the same moves, the same goals, to reenact the moments that we all remember from that classic time frame. Now let's move on to the show production, where you can make your own calendars, your own schedule in the universe mode. You can change anything you want in this, much improved. You have shows 5 days a week if you want. You change what titles are in there. Now, of course, you can create titles. So you can make it as custom as you want, from the logos to the rings. Now we're going to see the ring entrances are even different so far as the ramps. There's a really major step forward in the arena production of this video game. Another super cool feature is the special guest referee. Long overdue to bring this back. They have, and for the most part, they got it right. Obviously, you can control the referee yourself, in which case you'll control the complete outcome of the match. What I've enjoyed doing is putting a guest referee in there and not being the referee, because sometimes they'll call a straight match, sometimes you'll get screwed, and sometimes they'll screw the guy you're going against. It all depends. In this matchup we're setting up here, we got Booker T going up against Goldberg with the Nature Boy Ric Flair as the referee. Here you see the list of arenas from the old Attitude Era time frame, which most of you probably already seen on other highlight videos leading up to the release of the game. This is a created WCW Nitro Arena, not created by myself. This was a download from, again, PS3. As this match goes on, I'm just going to do some talking over it, but to give you an opportunity to see the gameplay. I think the gameplay is actually pretty good once you get to that point. Let me go over some of the pros and the cons of this game, in my own opinion. The game flow in the ring, I think, is better than it was last year. It looks more natural. Everything from the toss to the ropes, little things. You can almost see the guys whispering in the opponent's ears to what the next move's going to be. It looks pretty darn good. The create mode, so far as creating your own wrestler, has always been one of the flagships, if you would, of this franchise. It's better because they brought back what worked. Okay, you've got transparency back. That makes a huge difference, especially when you're doing art, tattoos, things like that. But even doing certain shading and shadowing of different features in the face, things like that, makes a big difference, and I'd say that took a big step forward. We already talked about the arena. You don't have to. Here's one of the things. If you remember, selecting an arena, a custom arena, in a match, you used to have to wait for all of those slots to fill up with little images before you could select one. You don't have to wait anymore. One of the other big things is now you can create the entire card for the next show coming up. You don't have to sit there and go match by match like you had to do in the past, or play the crap they put together for you. Now you can put the whole 6 matches or 5 matches, depending what show it is. You can put the whole thing together right there in one shot and just go down and play it. Once again, we talked earlier about a lot of the new additions. Most of the stuff you've already seen in trailers coming up for the lead of the game. But one of the outside interactive areas definitely is a lot better than it was. You still can't drag guys into the ring posts and crotch them like you used to do. You still can't run their heads into the steel steps like you used to be able to do. And you can't slam them into the guardrail. You can, of course, run them through the corner of the guardrail, but just more traditional things where we're dropping a guy across the guardrail that they used to have in the game a couple of years ago that I kind of thought that had brought back. Of course, the big one is you can go on top of the announce table. I would take that if I was told that I had an option of that, or slamming people to the guardrail. I would totally go with the table and the broadcast table in that option. One of the other things this game's usually taken a hit for is the commentary. They've used a lot of the same commentary for many years now. They have finally changed a lot of it up, and it's not so bad. They finally talked Mike Cole into putting something that resembles emotion into his commentary as if it were the real thing. So that's definitely improved. You've already heard about the crowds getting better, and the crowd is definitely better. And one of the things I don't think they really pushed enough is the fact that you can change with each given match the level it'll be competed at. If it's a squash match, you can set it for quick and easy right there on the title screen. You don't got to go settings. It's per match. You can make it a normal match, or if it's one of those pay-per-view epics, set it for the epic level, and guys will kick out of finishers and things like that. So, all in all, a lot of really good positive changes. However, let's talk about the other side of the equation. After all, this is THQ, and we know what to expect. So right from the start when the game came out, if you went and created your own universe mode, the minute you went to go to a match, if you had a created arena, it froze up, the entire game locked up. That kind of shoots the crap out of universe mode. Obviously, the guys at THQ realized this was going to be huge, so they went out, got a patch to fix that part of the problem, and universe mode now does work. It took them a couple weeks to get it right. I don't mind simple mistakes having to be fought out later on and patched up, but there was so much about this game that they clearly did not test. Now, when it comes to creating a wrestler, let's say he's going to have 3 or 4 different attires. A lot of times I'll copy the first one into the second, third, or fourth slots. This time around, when you do that, it takes a lot longer. Now that, I can attest to the fact that they have finally doubled the cost slots, and I'll take that any day of the week. We went from 32 to 64. Now the settings still don't really work properly, and what I mean by that is if I set to turn the commentary off, it'll turn the commentary off until I log the game off and get back on it the next day. Then, even though the setting says it's off, the commentary is still there, so they've not fixed that problem yet. There's also a story mode setting in universe mode where you can determine what things can and can't happen. And the one thing that I took out was for the universe mode to decide when teams break up. As soon as I took it out, very first tag team match had the guys turn on each other. So apparently that doesn't work. And then we also found out that the attributes really don't mean a damn thing, because a couple of calls were made with the 1 attribute versus the 100. And while the 100 did win the match, it was an even fought battle, and the guy with the 1 almost pulled it out. One of the features of the Create an Arena that I was looking forward to is the lighting control that you have. But realistically, once you change it to most, with the exception of one of the lightings, it changes the entire color of the crowd, of the ring, of the performers. And as any of you know that have ever done custom artwork for the rings, it changes the way that looks, and I don't think it's a good thing. So, unfortunately, I'd like to have seen them do something more along the lines of what they did with Triple H and Brock Lesnar when they were in the ring for SummerSlam. That spotlight on the ring to kind of give it the smaller, unique, old-school feel to it. And then maybe, you know, do some other dimming effects where you can control how many rows deep into the crowd you're able to see. And personally, one of the things that's recently begun happening is when I upload a creative wrestler, especially one that's got the moveset and the entrance all put together, packaged up, somehow the transaction wipes out all of that information. Just the call gets uploaded, but even when I go back to my main game and I go to use that call, now he's had his movesets reverted back to the original, as well as the entrance, and you have to do all that work again. So right now, I will not be uploading any additional created wrestlers until I know for a fact they've got this problem fixed. To say this is the only technical issues with the game would be a lie. Go to their website and you'll see 43 pages of glitches reported so far. Overall, the game, I'm going to rate it 2 different ways. I've never done this before, but the overall game itself, I'm going to give it a 6.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't release a game with this many issues. Guys, get off your asses. Stop taking the easy way out. Test these freaking things before you sell them to the public. So basically what it comes down to is if you pre-order the game or buy it on release date, you are the test team. Are you getting paid for it? No, you're paying them. That's bullshit. In simple English, THQ, year after year after year, you drop the ball. I am waiting for the WWE to fire your asses and put EA Sports in there so we can get it done right. Having said that, I am now going to rate the game on the actual gameplay experience when it is working. The in-ring, outside the ring, the creatability factor. If it weren't for all of these glitches and all these other setbacks that easily should have been cured long before the game was released, take those away, and I would say the gameplay itself is an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. There's a ton of reasons to like this game. The problem is they give you way too many to hate it. I think in this game, THQ has proven that they really aren't concerned about the fans. They keep putting these games out year after year with all the issues in the world, and basically we end up telling them what's wrong with it, then they try to fix it after the fact. So in my final evaluation of WWE 13, I say, let the buyer beware. Alright, I was just getting ready to put this thing to bed and put this thing up on YouTube, and I come to find out as I was trying to set up my universe mode, I go to book a ladder match, triple threat ladder match, and again it freezes. Y'all need to go check out their website, look at the list of complaints. The patch didn't do a damn thing. If you haven't bought this game, don't spend the money. If you bought it and you paid by credit card less than 60 days ago, call your credit card company. You should be able to dispute the charge, return the game to the place you purchased it, and tell THQ to go fuck themselves.